All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the presentation. Today, we're going to be talking about some really incredible things. We're going to be showing you Reputation Zen and explaining how your reputation is the number one single most important asset that you can be building in your business for success moving forward. Okay, so that's the big secret. You can go all leave now that you know your reputation is that single most important asset, the biggest asset that you can build in your business. But we're going to explain how to utilize that. For those who stick around, we're going to be explaining how to build that reputation, how to use that reputation, how the search engines are focused on that reputation in their algorithms now. The algorithms have actually changed, and what a lot of businesses and a lot of marketers are doing or telling you to do now doesn't really matter anymore. It's kind of a scam. It's all changed. And the algorithms are focusing on different things now. They're much more reliable. The algorithms have always changed. The search engines have been changing since day one, always trying to improve their system, and they always will be. But this is somewhere that they've consistently been moving to more and more importance to, been giving more and more weight to your reputation over the last 13 years or so. And really, since the advent of smart mobile technology, that has enabled the search engines to change the way they serve up results. And it's also driven a massive change in consumer behavior, which the search engines obviously are responding to as well. And so there's kind of a circular pattern happening there that's driving this change. But all the, excuse me, sneeze, all that really matters is that the change is happening and it's affecting your business and your success. If you're still riding in the caboose and you're not paying attention to the change, then then you're going to be left behind. Okay, so our purpose today is to help local businesses compete in the digital landscape. We're going to discuss the single most important asset that you can build in 2019 for the success of your business, which I've already revealed is your reputation. Everything is built on reputation. How many times have you seen a sign on a building, even carved into stone, that says something like since 1923, right? That's their reputation. They are telling you how long they've been around. Reputation matters. In fact, it is the single biggest influencer on a consumer's mind when they're making a buying decision is social proof. Okay, this is not what you say your reputation is. This is what other people are saying about you. This is what they say your reputation is. There's actually two things that are almost irresistible buying influencers, and those are scarcity and social proof. Now, if anybody else sells what you sell or does what you do, then you don't have the luxury of scarcity. The only thing you really have is social proof to get people to decide to do business with you. So we're going to show you how to get on the front page of Google in as little as 48 hours without paying for SEO. Does that sound good to anyone? Like, how do you think that would impact your business if you were actually on the front page of Google tomorrow or next week? You know, if you were on the front page of Google, you didn't have to pay for SEO. You weren't paying thousands of dollars for all this fancy stuff that doesn't even work anymore, but you were able to be found on page one of Google. Okay? I think that would really help most businesses. Next, you're going to learn how to be the only option prospects will even consider without tooting your own horn. How would that be for your business if people trusted your business so much that they thought, I wouldn't even shop anywhere else? I wouldn't spend my money anywhere else. I wouldn't trust anyone else. Your business is the only business they trust, and you achieve that without bragging, without advertising, without tooting your own horn. That is the consensus these guys, these gals, this is where you go when you need XYZ. And they won't trust anyone else. Like, you're the only option that complete strangers would even consider, right? How would that impact your business? Next, you're going to learn how to ethically hijack your competitors' customers before they steal yours. What would that do for your business? Do you have competitors stealing your customers away from you, advertising things, and you have people that used to come to you and now they go somewhere else? That sucks, doesn't it? Right? How would it affect your business if your competitors' customers were choosing of their own free will and accord to do business with you instead all of a sudden, and you weren't losing any more customers going to your competition? That would be huge, wouldn't it? So those are the three things that we're going to talk about today. And all of this is made possible through a powerful system that we're going to share with you. So this is a system that automates most of what you need to do with this. It still allows for the human touch to a large extent, but once you set it, you can kind of set it and forget it, and have it just working for you, just chugging away like the little engine that could. Okay. Now, we're going to be talking about 6 different areas of this software. We're going to be looking at the overview tab, the social tab, the reviews tab. Then we're going to be looking at a listings tab, insights tab, and your multi-location. So just to actually see what this is and how it works, let's go through some system visuals. We're going to be looking at your overview tab. This is what companies like Domo are earning multi-billion-dollar valuations for, just making the data that you need to run your business visual, attractive, easy to read, easy to understand, and that is going to be on the overview tab. It's going to show you where you stand. Now, one of my business mentors once said, he actually had an entire course, an entire CD series that he shared about this called Know the Score. And the entire premise was that to be successful in business, you need to know the score. You need to know where you stand. You need to know what's going on in your business. And you need to have that information at your fingertips. How many times have you watched Shark Tank and watched as they ask a prospective investee, they ask, what are the numbers? How much does it cost for you to acquire a customer? How much is this? And they don't know. These guys pretty much fold up their book and say, I'm out, when people don't know the score in their own business. So this is going to gather that data. It's going to show you where you stand on the most important issues that we're going to be talking about here, and give you that data in a very easy to read, very attractive, simple, straightforward, and visual format where you can always know the score in your business. All right, the listings tab is very important because you've got over 70 listing sites out there that most people say, who cares? Why do those matter? And over 40% of businesses have errors in their listings across these sites. Now, those errors can be very minute. They can be very small. It can be as small as your address being listed as 428 Main Street on one site and 428 Main ST on another site. It could be having parentheses around your area code on one site and no parentheses on the other site. And the unfortunate thing is that you're not in control of these sites right now, right? You haven't even heard of some of these sites. And a lot of the sites that you have heard of, like Angie's List, Dex Knows, Yellow Pages, you might not even ever visit those sites. You might think, well, I don't use those sites, so they don't really matter. But here's the thing. If you want to be a successful fisherman, if you want to go fishing and actually catch fish, you need to use the bait that the fish like to eat, not the bait that you like to eat. And so I think worms are pretty slimy and gross, to be honest. But when my kids want to go fishing, that's what works. I certainly don't stick bacon on the hook and think, well, this ought to work because, I mean, I love bacon, right? I don't put Thai food on the hook. That stuff just doesn't work for fish. I use what the fish use. And when you're trying to catch customers, it's the same thing. It doesn't matter what you like, it doesn't matter what you use, it doesn't matter how you behave. What matters is how your customers behave, where they do their searches, where they look. And what matters even more than that, because a lot of them don't use these sites, what matters a lot is where Google and Bing and Yahoo are looking, where they're paying attention to. And what happens with these sites is that the number one goal that keeps Google, Bing, Yahoo all in competition with each other is they're each trying to provide a faster, better, more reliable result for the people using their search engine to do a search than the next guy. Whoever provides the best results wins. And so these sites, these listing sites, are very important to the major search engines. And the reason for that is that they want to know that your business is where you say it is, that you are who you say you are, that you are where you say you are, when you say you are, and what you say you are. Okay? And if there are errors across these sites, which are high authority backlinks, which massively impacts your ranking on the search engines and where you're listed, if there are errors there, then the search engines lose trust and they don't show you. And so you are actually losing money if you have errors there. It's a $10 billion a year loss, a $10 billion a year problem in loss for businesses like yours, where 40% of all the businesses online have errors in their listings. 85% of consumers surveyed said that they would likely not return to a business that had incorrect information in their listings. That means if they go to Google and they say, find me XYZ, and Google serves up a result and they go to that address and they get there and you're closed, but it said that you would be open, people get really pissed off about that and they don't want to come back. They will go to your competition and you lose money. And so that's why these sites are important. They show the search engines that you are who, what, where, and why, that you say you are, and gives them the trust they need in your business and in your information for them to recommend it to their customers, who are the people doing the searches on their search engine. All right. Just to get an idea of how the algorithms are actually functioning now and what they really place importance on, if you're getting SEO specialists coming to you and saying, well, we can build keywords and backlinks and all this stuff, first of all, most of their backlinks don't matter because they're very low authority or zero authority backlinks. What they do is they build a network of blogs that they could build a couple thousand blog sites that are, it's called a multi-site. And so when they post this from one site, it goes out to all the different sites. And so they write up a quick little article, they put in a link to your site, and they post it, and it goes out to all these different sites, and they say, look, we got you 2,000 backlinks. But the search engines are looking at that saying, this is all the same article, it's all whatever. And it's really only one backlink, but it's not even that because it's all just them trying to game the system. And so you're really not getting any benefit from it. You get much more benefit out of having 70 plus legitimate high authority backlinks from websites that don't let you post that information, or just post random posts and stories and whatever. Don't let you control all the keywords, but they will link to your business, and they do let us correct information on those listings. Now, some of that information may not be incorrect. It's just written differently into a search bot. It doesn't know the difference. If it's seeing RD on one site and road on another site, street on one site and ST on another site, it's going to treat those as different entities. There's something different about them, and it's going to treat them differently. You don't get the synergetic power of having all of those sites listed exactly the same, completely congruent, and put the control back into your own hands. Okay, so link building is actually 29% of the algorithms online. That's huge. It is the largest portion of those. Then you've got reputation management down there in the blue at 13%. This is your reviews. And this can be very impactful, even though it's only shown at 13%. What's really great about this is that most businesses are not focused on this. And so even though it may be a smaller slice of the pie as far as the algorithms go, it's where all the opportunity is in real life. And so one of the strategies with SEO was to look for long tail key phrases. Okay, this is saying if I want to sell oil changes, then I'm not going to just do SEO for the keyword oil change. I'm going to look for something that people are searching, a long tail search phrase or key phrase that, and there's software out there that would tell you, so you could put in oil change and it would come back and tell you, okay, looks like there's this many searches for the long phrase, the long tail key phrase, where to get my oil changed in Utah County. Okay. And then you can go and say, okay, wow, there's 3,000 searches for that phrase a month. And how much competition is there for that phrase? And this is the important part where it come in and people would say, oh, and it looks like there's very low competition. Nobody else is doing this. Nobody else is using that full phrase. And so now you know, okay, there's tons of people searching for this specific phrase, but nobody else using that specific phrase. And if you went and shot a quick video outside your business saying, hey, Oil Can Henry's here. We do oil changes in Utah Valley. We think we're the best place to get your oil changed in Utah County. And here's why. We use the best synthetic, and you rattle off a few other things, and then you post that video to YouTube using that phrase, the exact long tail key phrase that they said, where to get my oil changed in Utah County. And then you write a little like 300 word description using that phrase in there. You could show up on the front page of Google instantly. Like literally within 5 minutes, because Google owns YouTube. And so you've got a video now, which is very effective. You've got all this stuff, and you can show up overnight and beat out these other videos that are all about how to change oil at home yourself, or all these different things. You could get there very quickly. And that's kind of what's happening with reviews and your reputation management. Because so many consumers are concerned about reviews, 89% of consumers read online reviews before making a buying decision from 2 or more sites. Okay, that's pretty huge. That's a huge consumer behavior that is not being answered by business behavior actually putting any importance on that. And so it's very easy to jump ahead of the competition very quickly when you start paying attention to your reputation and building that reputation. Again, your number one asset. When you start doing it, most of your competition is not doing it, and you instantly jump ahead. And that can get you on the front page of Google in as little as 48 hours that I've done for other clients. And that was with just a few new reviews, a few 5-star reviews, and they were on the front page of Google in 2 days. And all of a sudden, showing up somewhere that they'd never shown up before. This actually was a company that does vacation rentals. They have several cabins up by where I live, and I did this for them in exchange for them letting me use their cabins as an office while I was getting my agency started up. And so I had a nice quiet place to go work just right up the road from my cabin where my kids were all loud and crazy. And that only worked out for a very short time because now their cabins are fully booked all the time and there's never a cabin that I can go and work in because they just but because we got them so much business. It was so easy to jump ahead of the competition there because their competition, which is a way bigger company, they manage over 30 cabins and they've been around for a lot longer and they're doing all kinds of stuff. They were not focused on this. And so it was very easy when someone new came along and started saying, hey, we're getting reviews now, for Google to say, oh my gosh, okay, these guys are more relevant. Even though they have fewer reviews, they're current. This is happening now, and these other guys have more reviews, but they haven't been doing anything for a while. We're going to trust the new guys right now because they seem like they're really going the extra mile and they're getting things done right now. They're taking care of people. Okay, so that's kind of how that works. Only 14% of the algorithm is still focused on content. That's your keywords and what you're actually saying on the website. And which is something that I've always had a frustration with anyway, because like you write things that work for the search engines, they don't make any sense for human beings. And so I was always like, why is it so much focus on this when I want to write what works for people so that people come to the website and they're like, hey, this is great. This makes sense. I like this. But in order to get found, I always had to write all this keyword driven stuff that didn't make sense to people. And so it was like you could get found, but then you couldn't get people to do business with you because you sound like an idiot or a robot and they didn't trust you. Now it's finally being shifted the focus to what people do trust, which is your social proof. All right, so there's a few other things in there. I'm not going to spend a lot of time trying to explain what those are. I want to talk about reviews real quickly because this is secret number 2, how to be the only option consumers will even consider without tooting your own horn. I think I said earlier that the biggest influencer on a consumer's mind when they're making a buying decision is social proof. Let me just ask you, have you ever gone online and checked reviews before you bought something? Or have you ever bought something online and checked the reviews before you clicked buy now? Have you ever wanted to buy something and checked the reviews and then decided, no, never mind, I don't want that now? Would it shock you to hear that 95% of participants surveyed said that that a negative review had actually convinced them not to do business with someone, not to buy a product, or not to do business with that company altogether? I could show you some horrific examples of, for example, just yesterday I was looking up dermatologists and I found a dermatologist that has 2 1-star reviews, both of which are just horrific. I can't even imagine how many thousands of dollars a month this dermatologist is losing by people who are checking into these things before they get plastic surgery, and reading, both of them said that he had messed up their face, left them with permanent scars and a crooked smile from one of them, and then just kind of like didn't care when they said, hey, like I've got a scar here. He's like, oh well, you have to be pretty close to even notice it. It's fine. Just go on your merry way and screw you, basically. That guy, I guarantee he's losing thousands of dollars a month. I mean, I'm so confident that he's losing customers because I didn't even want to take his money. Okay. So not only are customers saying, I wouldn't give this guy money to mess with my face and screw up my surgery. As a marketer, I'm saying, wow, I could really help this person, but I don't want to. I think that from what I read, it's horrific enough. I just want him to go out of business and start mowing lawns for a living, or something that's a little bit harder to screw up and that doesn't matter as much. I don't want to help this person get any more clients that he could mess up. That's how bad the reviews were, is that I don't even trust him for me to send complete strangers to or help fix his reputation. I'm like, no, it sounds like this person deserves to have a bad reputation and go out of business completely. So that's how bad it was. If you have lower than a 4.5 star rating, you are losing money. If you have a 5-star rating and less than 40 reviews validating that, you're losing money. Okay, those are just the facts. The way consumer behavior is now, if you don't live up to their expectations, and everybody feels, listen, this is the entitlement that we have in the world today. Everybody feels like, hey, I'm a 5-star customer. I deserve 5 stars. And let me just ask, don't you feel that way? If you're looking for a massage, do you feel like, nah, I only really deserve a 3-star massage. My $60 for a 1-hour massage is only worth a 3-star effort or a 3-star talent? Or do you say, hey, it costs me $60 either way, may cost you $90. I actually go to a massage therapist that costs $90 for 60 minutes because she's incredible. Because I feel like I'm worth a 5-star massage. I'm worth the best experience when I want to get a massage. I think I'm worth it. I think I deserve it. I think I've earned it. Okay? Tell me you're any different. And if you're not different than that, if you don't honestly go around saying, no, I'm only worth 3 stars, I'll pay the same money for 3 stars as it would cost for 5 stars because I just don't deserve 5 stars. Okay? If you're not going around thinking that way, then what makes you think that your consumers think any differently? They want a high star rating and a lot of reviews. So at least a 4.5 and at least 40 reviews. Now, I say at least a 4.5 because honestly, sometimes you don't want a 5.0. You don't want a full 5-star rating. And the reason for that is because if you have a 4.9, then people see that as like, oh, wow, okay, this is honest. This is legitimate. This isn't just them making up fake reviews, which the FCC is really cracking down on now anyway, and it's harder and harder to build a reputation based on fake reviews. And so that's something that's working itself out. Consumers' trust for reviews online is going higher and higher every time they're surveyed. Something like 82% of consumers surveyed said that they trust online reviews as much as a personal recommendation from a friend or a family member. And so that trust level is going up. But if they see that it's not quite a perfect 5-star, but like these guys right here, 142 total reviews, and they got a 4.7-star rating, that's great, because that shows, okay, there's no way that's just fake reviews. And look, they've got still almost a 5-star rating, still above 4.5. And so that comes with a very high trust factor, very good social proof. All right. Now, the other way that this is going to impact your business is that it's going to allow you to ethically hijack your competitors' customers before they steal yours. And the way that works is all comes back down to consumer behavior. Today, consumers have a shorter attention span than a goldfish. They have very short memories. Smartphones make us dumb. It's just the reality of it. When you are paying to advertise to a new customer, we all know that the most expensive thing in business is acquiring a new customer, and the cheapest thing in marketing, the most expensive thing in marketing is to acquire a new customer. The most affordable thing in marketing is to retain a repeat customer. All right, so a lot of times our focus is on new customers. That's how we grow. That's how we scale. And so when you're running ads, you're spending that expensive money to acquire new customers. Here's what's happening now. Let's say that you were a Thai restaurant, you ran an ad that just makes people's mouths water for Thai food, and you run this ad on the radio about at quitting time for work, so that people hear the ad when they're on their radio, when they're listening to the radio on their way home. And I hear that ad, and it makes my mouth water, and I love Thai food. I'm like, oh man, that sounds so good. Do you think that I stop, pull over, and write down the critical information about your restaurant and your address, your phone number, all that stuff that I need so that I can come and actually get Thai food from you? Absolutely not. No consumer does. What they do instead, because they trust reviews, is they say, wow, Thai food sounds fantastic. I'm going to check on Google and find a Thai restaurant with great reviews, with a lot of good social proof. And they're not saying this like out loud or in their mind. They're not saying the words, but this is the way people are thinking. And if I asked if you've ever thought that process before, you probably, if you're really honest with yourself and you think through it, you say, yeah, absolutely. You hear something from advertising that sounds good, and you say, okay, hey, Google, find me that. Google brings up a list of recommendations based on their reputation, on their social proof, on their trust factor for knowing that, hey, you can trust that this business is there. A lot of the businesses that are paying the most for advertising, I find, are doing the least for that free organic result that hijacks their customers. And so it's so important to have this in place. What happens then is that Google serves up those results. I see 3 options, and I pick the one that looks the best to me right there. I don't go to each of their websites. I don't call them. I don't even look at the address. In most cases, I just know, okay, all 3 of these are close to me. I don't care if one or none is the restaurant that ran an ad on the radio just now that got me hungry for Thai food, because guess what? I'm going to go spend my money. I want it to be the most convenient and the best option possible. And right here in front of me is the most convenient, the most credible, the most validated options for where I am. I can tap and say, get directions, have it lead me right there, and sit down and have a great meal that I'm confident is going to be good. Now, this is why they have best of state awards and 5-star awards, Michelin chef awards, all these things. It's all to build that social proof because people respond to that and say, oh my gosh, these guys won this award. I got to try them out. Okay. The same thing is happening with your reviews right here. And you can put all your effort into winning some kind of award that then you have to put effort into bragging about and telling people that, oh, look, we won this award. Here's how great we are. And businesses do that all the time. And I'm definitely not saying not to do that. You should be doing that. But on a daily basis, you should also be building your digital reputation with your reviews online. And that is going to get you more of your own customers and more of your competition's customers when they go out and they get somebody interested in buying what you sell. And then they just go to their phone and say, okay, find me somebody that sells that. And you want them to choose you over your competition because you have a higher star rating, because you have more reviews, because you have more social proof. All right. Very quickly, I just want to go into this little example here that shows how your local search visibility has been happening. So ads has been growing a little bit. Non-website online presence has been growing a ton and now takes up the majority since about 2017. It was equal on par with traditional web results. But what's happening now is that a lot of people are not even seeing your traditional website. They're not going to your website. They're not reading the fancy sales copy that you paid thousands of dollars to have written or the nice website that costs thousands of dollars to build. All they're doing is they're getting to those search results. They're seeing your star rating. They're seeing how many people validated that rating. And they're seeing your phone number that they can tap on and call you, or directions that they can tap on and get directions right to your front door. Now, there's also often a little icon where they can tap on to visit your website, but most people aren't doing that because, like we said earlier, people are like water. They take the path of least resistance every time, and they have a shorter attention span now than goldfish. Our smartphones have made us dumb, but that's okay because we still have money. And if you want that money, you need to get in front of people the way that they like to find a business, and that is through a mobile search. They're going to do that search. They're going to see everything they need right there. They don't care about your website. They feel like it's manipulative, like it's salesy, or trying to convince them of something that they may not have been convinced of. Otherwise, they much more prefer to see their peer review, the peers giving you reviews and ratings, and see what actual customers have to say about it. Not just some fancy marketing agency that you paid thousands of dollars to write incredible, amazing, persuasive copy. Like, consumers are getting smart and they don't care about that stuff anymore. It could put me out of business. But that's why I'm focusing on this, is because this is honest, it's pure, it's real, it's legitimate, it works, it's what matters. It's really honestly where the future lies. Okay. Let's jump into your social media tab. You can manage your social media all in one place here. And you'll see here they have their LinkedIn, their Facebook, and their Twitter accounts there. Depending on what social media you like to do, you can have those different sites here. They also do, we also let you manage your YouTube and Instagram accounts if you have an Instagram business account. Okay, you want to make sure that your Instagram account is set up as a business account, not a personal account. It's very easy to switch that if it's already set up and you've been doing all your business stuff on a personal Instagram. Not a problem. All you have to do is go into those settings and say, make this a business account, and then you will be able to manage it from this tab all in one place. You can schedule posts to go live when you want them to. You can schedule them to repeat on a regular basis. I recommend no less than quarterly for that, and probably not even quarterly. I recommend 6 months to a year, really, and then to fill the gaps with current and relevant stuff that you can also schedule. So you can schedule all of your holidays, all of your sales, all of those kinds of things to go live when you want them to, so you never miss anything, and so that you always get that out there the way you want it to show up on the platforms you want it to show up to. You can respond to comments, you can like and share, all that stuff. You can really manage all of your social media right here in one place and save about $6,000, $5,000 or $6,000. What it would cost if you were to hire someone like me to manage those platforms for you. I charge $1,000 a month per platform. And so if you're doing LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, then that would be $5,000 a month for me to manage those for you. Or you can invest a couple hours of your time at the beginning of the month, schedule it all out for the month, and have it ready to go, as well as some of it scheduled to repeat the next year in that month. And then the next year, you're going to have even less time that you have to spend on it because half of it's already done. So your Pinterest, all of that would make it $6,000 a month if you added Pinterest to it. You can do all of this in one place. It's really kind of like managing just one social media account, and literally for a couple hours of work and a tool like this, you can save yourself $5,000 to $6,000 a month on what it would cost to hire someone in-house to do that for you, or to be doing it, hiring someone like an agency like mine to do that for you. All right, your Insights tab is going to give you information on all the important stuff that's happening on your website. So you know how many visitors you're getting, if that number is going down or up. You're able to track your efforts, if what you're doing is working or not. All of that kind of stuff, new visitors to the site, old visitors, total visitors, page views, etc. All of the Google Analytics that you really want, that you want to understand, it's all going to be right here in one system and really show you what's going on so that you can watch and pay attention to that every step of the way as well. Next, you've got your multi-location tab. This is if you have multiple locations in your business and you have your marketing office is in one central location, but they have to handle social media and marketing and reviews and all that stuff for all these different locations. We can do that all in one place, and that can be managed from your corporate office or wherever your marketing department is, so that they handle that while the boots on the ground can do the work that they need to do. And so that is the system in a nutshell, and it is $300 a month. Now, I'm just going to come out with that price without building it up and doing all these, value stacks and things. And that's because it's very easy to look at all of our competition, most of whom do only a portion of what we do. One of the most reputable, if this is something that you're looking for but you don't want to work with us, is you've got Podium for reviews, and they can do the reviews for you. I heard recently that they just raised their prices. They're about $500 a month now. I'm not sure on that. I heard that from a former customer that had just quit using Podium. Even if they are at $500 a month just for reviews, I still think that's worth it for a business. I still think that's going to be profitable for your business. But what I love about Reputation Zen is that we offer so much more. We, in addition to just the reviews, we do everything that Podium does with the reviews, plus we do the listings management, and we do more than what you're going to find anywhere else out there. That's what I really love. Basically, took all the problems with things they were doing, only focusing on four, and then hoping that that spread out to the others. And I paid for reputation or for listings management for over a year with one company, and the other listings never got corrected. And their whole thing was, well, we're going to control those listings on these four main sites, and then all those other sites get their information from these sites. So eventually, it will all become congruent because they'll check in and fix that. And I don't think they ever do. I don't know. That strategy didn't seem to actually be showing any improvement there. I really think you need to go directly to all those sites the way we do. Take control, claim control of those listings, and manage those and keep control of those listings yourself. So we have the listings management. We have the social media platform that allows you to manage your social media much more effectively. And it's also a great tool if you are hiring a social media manager for them to work with you in through that tool, so that it's all on the same page. You can see what they're doing. You can see what they've done. They can load up a library with content for you to post at whatever time you want. If you just have someone that you're paying to create content, that's an option as well. And so there's a lot there with that. There's other systems. One that I like is called eClincher, and eClincher it starts at $49 a month and goes up to $300 a month for that system, depending on how robust you want to get with it. For what we're offering, you would be you'd be above the $99 a month option with eClincher. But it is a great platform, great company. If you didn't care about all this other stuff and you don't want to spend $300 a month, for $49 to $99 a month, you could get something like eClincher, and it would do probably most of what you need there. Then you have the data that is easy to read, all that. I don't know how much Domo charges for their data dashboard, but essentially that's all that the company Domo does, which is a massive company out here in Utah that investors and venture capitalists are watching very closely. They're saying it's going to have a multi-billion dollar valuation. It's going to be Utah's next big tech company. We had Qualtrics, which is also a data company. They focus more on surveys and things like that, but getting people's information. Just sold to SAP for over $8 billion just a few months ago out here. And they're thinking that Domo is going to be massive, even bigger than that potentially. And so, and that's what they do. I don't know how much they charge on a monthly basis for what they do, but they essentially just create a visual report of your data, a live visual report, so that you can always check in and know your score, know where you stand in business. And that's an option there as well. So we do have a few options with this. I believe that it is jam-packed with value. And what I typically say to most businesses is, what's the value of one customer in your business? And how many customers would it take for this to pay for itself? I just spoke with a friend who said that at the auto dealership where he works, they sell used cars only, and they make about $3,000 to $5,000 per car that they sell. And I was like, wow. So if this got you one new customer, just one new customer in the entire year, it would pay for itself just by getting you one extra customer that you would not have had otherwise. It's so easy for the system to pay for itself. Restaurants obviously take a few more, but if you get 10 new customers a month that you would not have received otherwise, then this pays for itself. And so any way you slice it, most of our clients are finding that they break even in the first month or two and are profitable by month 3 with this system, and they never go back. So I really appreciate your time. Thanks for taking the time with me. We look forward to helping with your new success. All you have to do to get signed up is go ahead and go to zen-fish.com/win now. Not win as in when should I do this, but win as in win the race, win the competition, annihilate your competition, get out ahead of them before they find out about this. It really is a special opportunity for the businesses that take advantage of this first are going to get a head start that the competition will never be able to catch up to for the same price and effort as you got there. This is what happened with SEO when search engine optimization was the big thing. The first companies to understand that, to recognize that opportunity and to jump on it, got a head start that their competition never caught up to. And so that's what happened with Amazon. I remember going into a store in the mall that was called Amazon, and we went in and we're like, so what is this thing? Why are you called Amazon? Like, it doesn't make sense. And they said, well, Amazon is actually a website. You can buy all this stuff online. And I remember my parents saying, I wouldn't buy anything online, and being very resistant to that. Oh, I would never give you my credit card number. I would never trust something that I hadn't like held and looked at myself. Consumer behavior has changed so much. My mother-in-law, my own parents still don't buy much online. They do buy things online now, but they don't buy as much. My mother-in-law orders stuff off of Amazon almost daily, and she just orders stuff and sends it back. Orders stuff and sends it back. I never return anything that I bought. Like I've seriously bought things that were over $1,000. Decided I wasn't happy with it. Could have gotten a full refund, but it's like against my nature to go through the hassle of making a refund request or admitting that I was wrong about something. I don't know what it is, but somewhere I've got like this mental block about taking things back. My mother-in-law sends stuff back all the time. She's like, oh yeah, just order this, take a look at it. No, I don't like it. Send it back. Yeah. And she's got Amazon Prime, so she's getting free shipping both ways. I don't know how they can afford to do that with her on there. But anyway, I remember when Amazon was like trying to get people to buy online, and they were opening up storefronts in malls to try and like generate that interest. And you'd come into the store and they'd be like, yeah, look at all this cool stuff, but look, don't buy it here. You should buy it online. Like, give it a try. Here's a card. That everything they were doing was trying to get you to go to their online thing, and they dominate that space now because they saw the opportunity there before everyone else did. They knew that it was a good opportunity, and they went for it, and they made the most of it. And now they're like the second trillion-dollar company in history. I don't know who the first company was, but Amazon was the second company to hit $1 trillion, and that happened in 2018, so just last year. I don't remember the exact date. I think it was June 2nd or something like that, but they became the second trillion-dollar company, or the second company to hit $1 trillion. Don't know if they'll stay at a $1 trillion valuation. But pretty incredible what can happen when you seize the opportunity and run with it. So I hope that you recognize this for what it is, that you'll see that it is the big opportunity. A lot of your competition doesn't. I can tell you right now, it amazes me how many people still wait around and say, well, I'm going to wait until this proves itself a little more. Social proof has been around since the dawn of time. It's not going anywhere. It's proven itself already. So this is where it is, and it's a special opportunity for early adapters, for people who do recognize a good opportunity and take advantage of that, like the people who invested in Apple, people who invested in Priceline. I've got a friend who lost, I think he said $5 million. That it might have been 15 million actually. He had a bunch of stock in Priceline, and Priceline, if you don't know the history, they had their stock, they kept going down and down and down. And in fact, when they hired William Shatner to do the commercials for Priceline, they paid him in stock because they couldn't afford to pay him in real in cold hard cash. And the story I heard, I don't know if this is true, but I heard that if he had kept all the stock that they had paid him in, that it would have made him a billionaire. And he took the job because he wasn't getting any other work in Hollywood. He was desperate, and he was like, well, yeah, I'll do it for stock, whatever. But then Priceline went through a period where their stock kept going down and down and down and down. And my friend sold at almost at the bottom of that. Um, and he said that his advisors kept telling him you got to sell. It's just they're gonna be worth nothing soon. They just keep going down. No one has ever recovered from this. And so he sold all of his stock. I think he said he got about $50,000 out of his stock, something like that. And then within 3 years from the time that he sold his stock, they went up. They just took off, went through the roof, and his stock would have been worth about 15 million if he had kept it. And so he was like, "Man, boy, did I ever lose big on Priceline." And a lot of people are going to be that way with their reputation. When things really go to that and the shift is complete, which I believe is still happening, then the businesses who are set up with those reviews and that reputation and their listings and everything is in place are going to really enjoy a massive impact from that. Whereas the people who sat around waiting for it to become that are then going to wake up and say, oh my gosh, we got to do this to compete. And the competition is going to be very stiff. It's going to be very expensive. It's going to be very hard to get anywhere at that point, just like it was hard for them to get anywhere with SEO when they finally started doing SEO. If you haven't been doing SEO, I recommend do not do it. You can't be competitive. You can't get in, and it's like investing in Apple. If you want to show up and compete with people who invested in Apple when they first launched for around $20 a share, you can't compete with that by investing in Apple because you can't. They were able to buy more shares for less money that are worth more now than you could ever compete with. You can't buy those shares for the same amount of money, and you're not going to get the same amount of growth out of them. And so you just can't compete in that game anymore. It's the same with SEO, and it's going to be the same with this in the very near future. My question to you is, do you want to be in the position where you're untouchable, you are out ahead, you've got this this benefit, this head start that nobody can catch up to? Or do you want to be the one trying to catch up to someone else who is untouchable, who has this benefit, they're way out ahead of everybody else, and you just can't catch up to them? Now, that's a question that only you can answer. But for those who answer that you want to be the one that's untouchable, you want to be the one that wins, you want to be the one that is way out ahead of everybody else, that's who I want to work with, and that's who I'm looking for. So I hope we can do business together. Thanks so much, and I wish you all the best.